All right. With that, I'll open the meeting at 1:03, and I'd like to acknowledge that I have Councillor Joe Hancock, Councillor John Burkett, Councillor Jane Vincent and Councillor Brendan Seawright online. So we're feeling a bit lonely in here.
Particularly me.
Yeah, particularly Councillor O'Neill. All right, with that, could somebody please move confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary meeting on the 11th of September 2025? Councillor Vincent.
I'm happy to. I move that that the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 11th of September 2025 be confirmed with the following spelling correction. On page 34, my mother, Janice Humphreys, has spelled Humphrys.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Brumpton. All those in favour?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
9-0.
Yes.
Could I have somebody move the minutes of the special meeting on the 17th of September 2025? Councillor Brumpton.
I move that the minutes of the special meeting held on 17th of September 2025 and scheduled to commence at 3:30 p.m. be confirmed.
Seconder, Councillor Davis. All those in favour?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
9-0. Could somebody please move for the minutes of the special meeting on the 17th of September 2025 for 4:25? Councillor O'Neill.
I move that the minutes of the special meeting held on the 17th of September 2025 and scheduled to commence at 4:25 p.m. be confirmed.
Seconder, Councillor Davis. All those in favour?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Got to get them through. 9-0, thank you. All right, 11.1. On page 49. Monthly report actions from council meetings. Do I have a mover? Councillor Brumpton.
I move that council receive and note the officers' report as presented.
Seconder, Councillor Davis. I just have one question. The outstanding as of the 23rd of the 9th, 25 says there's a total of 63. Is that the running total? Because this is just the
correct.
August.
Yep, that's the
Okay.
running
Yep.
total, and that
That's
was
okay.
out of the last meeting.
Yep, thank you. I just make sure I knew what I was doing there. All good. Any, who want to move that? Councillor Brumpton, did you want to speak?
To thank the officers for keeping us informed of this. It's something that council implemented, and it's good to be able to keep an eye on where actions are, so we're aware of things are at the whole way through. So thank you for the work done for this.
Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
9-0. (15.1) Policy endorsement impound and subsidence fee waiver reduction. Do I have a mover? Councillor Davis.
I move that council endorse the impound and sustenance fee waiver reduction policy as presented.
Seconder?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, Councillor Flynn.
Before or after the seconder, though? Is it?
I'll second.
Yep, Councillor Flynn.
I just noticed in the application form, it lists a concession card being presented, but that doesn't match with the wording of the policy.
Through the chair, I have made those updates to the document in Content Manager. It may have happened after the agenda was run.
Councillor Hancock.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Just before I ask my question, Councillor Brumpton, we just can't quite hear you when you're talking.
Oh, sorry.
So just a question that I note that this is related to cats and dogs. Is it not related to, horses and cattle and sheep? Or is this specifically about the cats and dogs?
This is specifically cats and dogs held at our pound facility.
right? And my second question is that in the policy, I note that it says about repeat offenders, or on that, but I just wondered if we need to firm that up to go. It will not be granted to repeat offenders. And my other question I've got, sorry, you can ask that one, but then my second question on that is, would this cover, you know, I do remember I had a young girl ring me. They'd just moved into a rental home and they thought they were told the fences were dog proof. The dog got out and got impounded, and she only had a certain amount of time to be able to get it, and she couldn't get the money. Would this help address that situation?
I think in this instance, the example you're providing would be reviewed and managerial discretion would apply.
What would happen now if it happened? Like, what do we do now with that?
The applicant has 5 days to submit a request, so it would be reviewed in line with that time frame, and all evidence would be, looked at to form a decision.
So, I'm just looking at 3.4 on it's page 6-7 of our council papers. Repeat offenders may be excluded unless exceptional or compassionate grounds are demonstrated. Do you see any risk in us saying will be excluded?
Not specifically. If it's a minor word adjustment for clarity, I can make a change there.
I think
Thank-
that's a
thank
pretty
you.
hard line to go down, though, personally. If we're going to debate will or may, I think that leaves no room. So I'm quite happy with may, just because it gives the council staff
Room.
options.
As do the other three dot points, because they've got may or that's my feeling as well, but.
Another follow-up question, Madam Mayor, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
Annie, how often would you get these requests? I mean, I guess where my thought pattern is that someone's got to pay, right? And I do understand that there's compassionate circumstances, and I do understand that they but someone's got to pay. So how often would you get this request?
Based on my experience to date, we are receiving requests for some sort of consideration to fee reduction or waiver weekly.
Yeah.
Further to that, Councillor Hancock, the reason for developing the policy as is presented was based largely on feedback that we received from King & Co, which indicated that we needed to have some more rigour behind this process so that we don't leave ourselves in a situation where it's difficult to charge retrospective fees, particularly if we have scenarios where, an animal might be in our care for a lot longer than we'd originally intended.
Yeah, thank you. And is there an opportunity for them to pay off their fee rather than waive it?
Not specifically, as per our fees and charges software within our system. I think we have to apply a certain code.
Yeah, but sorry, Councillor, just with our bad debtors one, the question was just asked by Council there, obviously opportunities to pay off outstanding fees. I'm thinking it's not specifically involved in this policy there. We have a broader one for outstanding. Okay, just ask Councillor Hancock, but just ask Director Brett to sit up on that one. There's another avenue though.
So if it was raised as a debt, so if it comes through the debtor system, then we could certainly look at payment arrangements, which we would typically with any debtors where they're suffering from some sort of hardship. Typically, we would look at it more as from a hardship perspective than a norm.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a
Thank
fine, you've got the spur option as well.
Yeah.
No, thanks, that was my understanding too. So.
You're right, councillor.
Thank you.
Councillor Davis, did you want to speak?
Yeah, I'm happy to support this policy today as it stands. It provides clarity, fairness and transparency that we said we were going to do to both the community and staff. And, you know, it is only for certain criteria. It is demonstrated financial hardship or exceptional and compassionate circumstances. It's I guess for our responsible pet owners, they don't really have to worry about this because the first offence is, you know, it's non-payable. The animal's returned to you. I do understand that, you know, in our community, some people can, you know, experience financial hardship, and this is just putting some parameters in place to assist them.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't look at anybody else because I was too busy looking up there. Everybody else, 9-0, sorry. I'm just watching them as they, yeah. Okay, 15.2, applications through Regional Arts Development Fund RADF Program 2025-2026. Councillor Brompton.
I move that council endorse the RADF Committee's grant assessment recommendation in supporting Injury and Arts project for $10,000.
Seconder. Councillor Flynn, would you like to speak, councillor?
Yes, just to say again, it's great to see the community accessing the RADF funding. We are doing some work to simplify the application form and the information that comes out to prospective people, but that's yet to come towards council. But I'm really appreciative of groups getting behind this and using the funding to enhance the arts within the area.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak?
Can I just ask a question?
Oh, yes.
The 25-26 budget of 32,271.18, is that a running budget or is that the budget
It was a year-to-date figure.
year to date? So how much? So, yep, that's a little. Righto, thank you. So running budget, running figure.
It's never been oversubscribed at this stage. This year we're looking, I mean, we've had quite a few
High
high
ticket, yeah,
items,
which
but
is
we've discussed the committee as well. I mean, probably unlikely to get something now between now and the end of the year, so it'll be next year again now, I'd think, before we get any more applicants next calendar year.
Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
9-0. Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
15.3, Bassett Park User Agreement, Maranoa Equestrian Club, Inc. Do I have a mover? Councillor O'Neill.
sorry, I had a question.
I'll move the council one enter into a non-exclusive user agreement with the Maranoa Equestrian Club Incorporated for the use of Bassett Park for a period of 5 years. 2, decline the Maranoa Equestrian Club's request for a fee waiver for associated fees, higher fees. And 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to execute the agreement and any other associated documentation.
Seconder. Councillor Brompton, would you like to speak, councillor?
Councillor Davis had a question.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Could I just ask a really silly question? So what does a user agreement allow them to do rather than just hire it for their 5 or so programs that they have supplied?
Through the chair, it gives them access to the facility and defines the responsibilities between the council and the user group. I believe the user agreement, if there's over 10 hires over the 12 months, under our insurance, casual hires insurance, we require a user agreement between the group and council.
Anybody else got any questions?
Yes, I do.
Another question of mine was just if the club is a not-for-profit, is this in line with every other user agreement, say for the camp draft out there or rodeo?
I'm not sure of the arrangements with those two groups. I know that previously there was another not-for-profit sporting group the user agreement for Bassett Park, council resolved to decline the fee waiver for their higher fees.
Okay, so everyone basically pays a fee waiver, to your knowledge, pays the fee to hire the place?
I believe that's the direction that we're wanting to go in, and instead of approving a fee waiver is for the groups to apply for the ongoing assistance policy that's recently been adopted.
Thank you.
Councillor Hancock?
Councillor Davis asked my questions. That's all good. Thanks.
Okay. Councillor Vincent?
I was just going to follow up on Amber's question. In the fees and charges, there is charges for the rodeo and camp draft and Roma show. I did look that one up.
Okay, thank you. Councillor O'Neill, would you like to speak?
I just want to update the resolution to make 3 number 4 and include a 3, which is encourage the group to apply for, you can pick up the wording on page 77, Cal. It'll be encourage the group to apply for ongoing assistance for the use of Bassett Park in line with Council's community grants and events assistance policy. And that's in the body of the report, so thank you, Lee. I just sort of put it in the resolution. I can read it out, Kel, if you want me to. Yeah.
Is the seconder happy with that?
So it'll read, and that the group, encourage the group to apply for ongoing assistance for the use of Bassett Park in line with Council's community grants and events assistance policy. I'll read it again, Kel, if you like. Encourage the group to apply for ongoing assistance for the use of Bassett Park in line with Council's community grants and events assistance policy.
Seconder happy with that?
Yes.
Did you want to speak?
No, thank you.
Does anyone want to speak? Let's go to the vote. I know that can't happen. All those in favour?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
9-0.
Excuse me, Kel. You realise the screen's not working?
Must be only just because I just watched it before.
You need a minute, Cal?
Just wait for the screen to come back. Yeah, it's moving now. Thanks, Cal. All right. L1, monthly financial report as of the 31st of August 2025. Councillor Brompton.
Can I start with a question?
Yep.
Page 22 of 31, which is our page 28, the gas appears to have some weird things in year-to-date budget and year-to-date actual, and reading the commentary, it doesn't really explain to me why the revenue is sitting. It says that billing has occurred 1 month earlier than budgeted, but that doesn't match what is actually shown in the report.
Through you, Madam Mayor, had a bit of a look at that one. I know Councillor Brompton's highlighted that particular issue earlier. So I can tell you that the budget for that one is quarterly, because we invoice quarterly. There are some select customers where we have a monthly billing. So that's why you're seeing some of the billing come through for the smaller amount. But otherwise, you would expect to see somewhere in the order of about $200,000 in the budget if it was, well, thereabouts anyway. If it was billed consistently, I guess. But because it's quarterly, we're not seeing the income. And equally, the budget's not showing year to date because of that same reason. I do think there's probably something still needs to be fixed with the through the quarterly budget review, particularly if you look at the budget at the moment saying a negative, which tells me that it's actually a debit. So that's a bit out of whack. So we'll fix that through the quarterly budget review. But that's the reason why I guess it doesn't appear to be a bit more consistent because of the billing schedule.
Brett, just with the gas this year, just remind me, mate, when we did budget this year, obviously we knew that we're going to be a lot less revenue with the gas with the pool. Obviously,
The pool
going
closed,
offline with
yep.
it's one of our own biggest customers there. Did we sort of factor that in, or was it?
We did,
just- We
yeah.
did, yeah. So
Yes, we did.
So the revenue will be actually. So it should still track it. What I'm saying is.
It should, yes, it should. And if we identify that it's not, well, obviously we'll need to do something about that. But
Thanks. Yeah, I know we talked about it at budget, whether we went with last year's and expected to be less, or we just factored it in, and so we'll track against that.
yes, we did factor this year down, and the following year it's got a different thing again. But
Thank you.
And still on the gas,
the explanation.
in the expenditure side, it says higher employee costs due to staff needing to be present during the audit. I know our gas and water, and we have discussed this offline, but just for clarity for everyone else, I couldn't understand why that is the case unless we see the water
Offset, yeah.
officer reduction, but it doesn't seem to reflect across the two.
No, that's right. And I mean, I've asked the question also. The issue I guess we've got is those three, gas, sewer and water, are all one team. And so they're being a bit, so I guess some things are up, some things are down, but that does seem inconsistent because the other two don't seem above or beyond.
Yeah.
What we are finding is the vacancy rate's a bit lower than we'd expected as well. So the overall costs are a bit higher. I think perhaps we probably do need to look at why that explanation was given, perhaps, because I'm not quite sure it lines up, other than the fact that we've been using more of our gas, more time in gas than we would typically have done instead of water and sewage, if that makes sense.
So hopefully for next month we can
A better, perhaps.
see that
Yep.
better reflected
Yes.
wherever we're at for next month.
Similar with the materials and services, I guess you'd argue the same thing. There's more expense in that than we budgeted for. I guess we'd have to have a look and see what we're doing.
It's very sad, also. Did you want to move it?
I'm happy to move now if no one else has got questions. I move that council note the monthly financial report for the period ended 31st of August 2025.
Seconder, Councillor Davis, would you like to speak, Councillor?
I don't think so.
Anyone like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 9-0. L2, development application, material change of use, dwelling house, domestic outbuilding, 173 Edward Street, Roma, reference 2025/21534. Councillor Flynn.
Yes, I'd like to declare a conflict of interest on this matter, item L2, which is the development application, material change of use, dwelling house, domestic outbuilding, 173 Edward Street, Roma, reference 2025/2153. The declaring councillor is myself, and the person with the related interest is myself. The particulars of the interest is that my wife and I are owners of a block that is bordering on the block subject to this application, and also my daughter Lucy Foley is the owner of a block bordering on this particular application area as well. Type of conflict is a prescribed conflict of interest. I will leave the room while the matter is being discussed.
Thank you.
Frozen up there again, Kel.
Councillor Flynn has left the room. Do I have a mover?
Yes. I'll move that council approve 353.8 metre squared shed with an 8 metre side boundary setback, with a height to pitch of roof of 5.478 metres, as per alternate 1 resolution.
Do I have a seconder?
I just want to read it.
Just noting, this is the original size, I understand, that was presented to council, but with a setback a bit further from the neighbours and a slightly lower roof as discussed on site with the applicant, is what my understanding of this motion.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes.
Is that the same as, I don't know who's in the room. Is Danielle in there?
Yes.
Danielle is here, yes.
Yeah, is that the same as the other Pollux shed? I just can't scroll properly on my phone here, but is that the same?
Through you, Mayor, in terms of gross floor area, it's very similar. The previous approval issued by council was very close to 350 square metres.
Yeah, so it's just the two differences was the open spaces compared to enclosed, I think, wasn't it?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions, or I need a seconder?
So can you just read that? Just read yours again, if that's right, Mayor.
Yeah.
It's the total floor area of 353.8 metres squared, height to pitch of roof 5.478 metres, with an 8 metre side boundary setback, which was alternate resolution 1.
I'll second that.
Seconded by councillor O'Neill. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Yes, this one has been one that council has deliberated over. We went on site to the applicant and thanked the applicant for allowing us to meet with them on site to explain. This is an oversized shed. We've looked at what we have approved and has been approved by prior councils in the past. And just to allow amenity for the neighbours, we discussed with the applicant about moving from the boundary fence a bit further and to reduce the height of the pitch of the roof. So that's why I have proposed that we support this alternate resolution, which was what was discussed on site from my recollection with the applicant.
Anyone like to speak against? Anyone else like to speak? Councillor O'Neill.
Thanks, Mayor. I echo the comments made by Councillor Brumpton. I'm happy to second this. I too think this is in line with the conversation we had with the applicants on site, and I thank them for allowing us to meet on site. I think it's good for council to do that. It gives us a broader perspective, actually standing on the ground in which these ultimate developments will be built. And I think coming off that fence line, I think in the long run will be a positive thing all round. And the size of the shed is consistent, albeit it's over what is in the planning scheme, but it is consistent what council had been approved in the past on a case-by-case basis, so I'm happy to support it today.
Can I just ask, the alternate one, number 1, the 353.8, that's what they asked for in the first place, wasn't it? Yep, okay. Anyone else like to speak?
Just want to make sure that wording up there is right. I know Councillor Brumpton read off the paper there, just what's up on the screen. I just couldn't see a size. It says just listing the conditions, okay.
What's on the paper that was...
Yeah, on that. Yeah, no, I appreciate your reading off the thing. I just want to make sure what's actually up on the screen reflects what you're moving, that's
I think
all.
we're frozen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't got the seconder
just
shown either.
Sorry, Kel, I just want to make sure we get it right. In that one that's up on the screen doesn't actually have
the size
of the actual shed. That's all.
Through you, Mayor, condition number 10 in that resolution specifies the maximum floor area that can be constructed.
Can we go down, Kel?
No, we're frozen.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to make sure we get it right. Thanks,
Yeah.
councillor, yeah. Make sure you're happy.
Councillor Searight.
Councillor Seawright, you had a question?
Just with the slight restriction on the actual height of the roof, that'll still give the resident the required pitch required to get the correct fall, etc.
Through you, Mayor, it does. We've limited it to 5.5 metres and their proposed pitch is just under that.
No worries, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? Anyone else like to speak?
Yeah, Mayor, I'd just to thank staff for going the extra mile and also the fellow councillors for going on site. I think I do agree with Councillor O'Neill. It is important that we work with the applicants, and I think being on site gives us a better understanding of when you can see it in front of you. So obviously everyone knows my views on sheds. I think this is still a good way forward with the size of the shed, considering the location and the size of the block. So they're fully supportive of this.
Thank you. All right, with that, would you like to sum up, councillor?
I don't think there's any need, thank you.
Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 8-0. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I'm getting married.
Thank you, Logan.
Councillor Flynn is back in the room. L3, proposed RACQ EV charging station at Mitchell. Do I have a mover? Councillor Brompton.
I move that council, 1, receive and note the report regarding the proposed RACQ electric vehicle charging station in Mitchell, including the outcomes of technical assessments and consultation with the Bringa Action Group. And 2, continue to progress negotiations with RACQ in accordance with Resolution OM/08.2023/65, noting the revised proposed site has changed from the location behind the Mitchell Spa to the western side of the Mitchell Water Tower.
Have a seconder?
I have a question.
Yes. Councillor.
And it's probably to Councillor Burkett, just with his opinion. Do you think that is too far away to try and, they pop the car on the charge and then wander down the main street? Is that the only area you think would be the best?
Yeah, no, personally, I don't agree with it's a good location at all, but that's not so much for the walking distance. It's just what's been raised by the community. But there was another location, but it doesn't have the, it's a bit in the too hard basket behind our council office there, but there's no transformer in that location. But yeah, obviously it's a bit of a grey area, and I do thank Deputy CEO Cam for getting back to me with some questions that was raised at the BAG meeting, but that is the only other location that's been, that Ergon is sort of keen to have it there. I do think that they will get an upgrade of their transformer in this process, so that's a win for them. But yeah, I do think it's still close enough to walk down to the main street and stuff like that.
Councillor Vincent, you had a question? Oh, sorry, Councillor Hancock.
No, all good, thank you.
Councillor Vincent?
Mine was just on point 2. Should that be, I know it's not for this one, but should it be behind the Great Artesian Spa? What's the correct terminology, John, to use there? Councillor Burkett?
So yeah, it is the Great Artesian Spa or the Mitchell Shire Hall, whichever. Probably the Mitchell Shire Hall, because that's probably the correct one.
So I'm happy to change that resolution in point 2. I don't think I've got a seconder yet. Behind the Mitchell Shire Hall, we'll say.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor O'Neill.
I'm happy to second.
All good, thank you, councillor. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Yes, I do acknowledge, having spoken to the Bringa Action Group, that this second site wasn't the ideal site, but I also acknowledge that I know that CEO Robbie and Cam have tried to do some work to get the ideal location. Unfortunately, Ergon wouldn't come to the party on that, and this was the alternate location, which the community didn't see as ideal, but were willing to go ahead with in order to have the charging station in place. And I think, Mitchell is a fairly small town, so it's not that far from the main street compared with how far people walk in other locations. So I do recognise that, and it's unfortunate it couldn't go to the ideal location, but there was limitations that were outside of our control.
All right. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor O'Neill.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Equally, I had some reservations about this site, and I acknowledge the work that Rob and Cam have done in the background to try and advance this on the advice from the Bringa Action Group. I mean, the risk here is if we don't pursue this particular site, then the funding will go somewhere else. Whilst we may not be seeing too many locals taking up EV vehicles, there are a lot more travellers that are, and you can see these stations popping up right across along the Warrego Highway now, and I think it'll be a loss not to have this in Mitchell. The tourism market is a major driver of our economies each and every year. So I'd like to, of course, support where the community want this, but as it stands, it can't happen in the time frame. So I think we continue to pursue the negotiations with ROCQ to at least make it happen in Mitchell.
All good. Anyone else like to speak?
Mayor, I'm on the fence with this one. I will support it. The only reason is that, like Councillor O'Neill said, that it'll be an opportunity missed, and it'll go somewhere else in Queensland. I do think we're held to ransom a bit, but I do appreciate the work from the CEO, the Deputy CEO, and for going that extra mile, and also the Deputy CEO for answering our questions. But I do think in a perfect world, there's probably 2 or 3 other locations that are better than being right beside a youth hub and skate park. I just think it's a bit of a weird mix, but I do appreciate the fact that there's only 2 locations that were, or 1 location they were willing to put it there, and we don't want to miss the opportunity. So I will support it under that circumstance.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Would you like to sum up, councillor? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 9-0. We have a conflict from you, Councillor Vincent, before we go into closed.
Or do we need to go into close?
Yeah, well, that'll be my next question.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Am I right?
Yes, you are.
To do my...
Yes, you are.
Okay. So I'd like to declare a conflict of interest on item LC2. The description is application for funding, Tourism Icons Investment Fund. Declaring councillor is myself, Jane Vincent. Person with interest is my mother, Janice Humphreys. Janice is the Secretary of CHIPS, and CHIPS is mentioned in the report. It is prescribed conflict of interest, and I'll leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Thank you. Right, somebody move us into close.
I'm happy to move into closed.
Thank you.
In accordance with provisions of section 254J3 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, that council resolved to close the meeting to the public at 1:42 p.m. to discuss confidential items that its councillors consider is necessary to close the meeting. In accordance with section 254J of the Local Government Regulation 2012, the following table provides the matters to be discussed. An overview of what is to be discussed while the meeting is closed. C.1, industry contributions into the Denise Spencer Aquatic Centre project. C.2, Roma Airport Cafe Management Agreement. LC1, tender 26005 2025/26 bitumen rehabilitation program. LC2, application for funding, Tourism Icons Investment Fund. LC3, request for purchase lots 81 and 82 on SP 119659. LC4, Roma Sale Yards Multipurpose Facility.
I have a seconder, councillor Brumpton. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 9-0. All right, we're enclosed. Into the Denise Spencer Aquatic Centre project. Councillor O'Neill.
I move the council, one, delegate authority under section 236 of the Local Government Act 2009 to the Chief Executive Officer to sign 2 funding agreements with industry partners as outlined in the report to formalise financial contributions towards the Denise Spencer Aquatic Centre redevelopment, and 2, work with the industry partners as provided for in the funding agreements to arrange an appropriate time and means of announcing these contributions.
Seconder, councillor Brumpton. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Thanks, Mayor. I'll say a few words. I can't really say too much because we aren't making the announcement today, but this is an exciting development and comes from many conversations I know that you've had, I've had, and others in this room have had to showcase what a huge project the Roma Denise Spencer Aquatic Centre development is, and will have a lasting livability impact for our region. And it's just wonderful that we've been able to attract industry partners into this project, which means it is a private-public partnership, and it just shows that building relationships with key stakeholders, from a private perspective, but also from a government perspective, has proven to be the right pathway to council to be able to see this project come to fruition. And I really look forward to the appropriate time to work with these industry partners to have more to say about it, the contribution that they'll be making to this project.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 9-0. C2, Roma Airport Cafe Management Agreement. Do I have a mover? Councillor Brumpton.
I move that Council 1 accept the request and extend the agreement with Star Asian Services for the Roma Cafe Airport Agreement for a further 12 months and continue to not charge a fee. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to negotiate final terms as specified in the report. 3, be presented with a briefing in early 2026 on options regarding the provision of food and beverages services at Roma Airport, a major transport hub for our region.
Seconded by councillor Davis. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Yes, just to acknowledge that this is the final extension allowed on the current contract, and we've decided to go ahead with the same conditions, and that acknowledging that we do need to look further in next year when we're due to go out again. Hopefully we'll know more about what's happening with our RPT route, but we may not, but hopefully we'll have better information to go out to a tender knowing what our airport's going to be looking like in the future.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 9-0. On to the late. LC1. Tender 26005-202526 bitumen rehabilitation program consideration for tender award. Councillor Davis.
I'd like to move that Council 1 select Durack Civil Pty Ltd as the preferred tenderer for the 25-26 road rehabilitation package for an estimated contract sum of $2,168,311.80, excluding GST. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to enter into final negotiations with the tenderer, noting the anticipated contract sum value above, and execute the contract if the final terms are acceptable. 3, authorise the nominated superintendent for council the delegation to order variations up to the value of the approved project budgets, noting the schedule of rates, nature of contract, and the requirement to use variations to achieve project goals.
Seconder. Councillor O'Neill, would you like to speak, Councillor?
Just to say that thank you to the staff. It was a thorough tender evaluation process, and we did have quite a few to choose from. This represents value for money, and looking forward to getting them to work on our roads.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 9-0. LC2, application for funding Tourism Icons Investment Fund. Councillor Vincent, you're leaving the room? And she's gone. Councillor Brompton.
I'd like to move that Council 1 submit an expression of interest for the Queensland Government's Tourism Icons Investment Fund, TIF, for the Sculptures Outback construction project, installation of bollards, footpaths, irrigation and water supply. 2, commit to co-funding up to $250,000, 50% of the selected options project cost in the 2026-27 budget if the project is successful. 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to sign the funding agreement and any other necessary documentation if successful.
Seconder. Councillor Davis, would you like to speak, Councillor?
Yes, this is an exciting opportunity for us to apply for some more funding for council. We had a couple of projects that council considered, and we considered that this one was the shovel-ready and the most bang for buck virtually for council, and recognising that we have a lot of temporary infrastructure out at Sculptures Outback, and considering the number of tourists that come through, they have a concept plan that council has seen, and we would like to help them progress that to make this area a beautiful area for tourism and the arts and culture community.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 8-0. If someone could let Councillor Vincent know. Councillor Vincent's back. LC3, request for purchase lots 81 and 82 on SP 119659. Do I have a mover? Councillor Brompton.
I move that Council 1 receive and note the conditional offer from Queensland Rail Limited in relation to the acquisition of lot 81 and 82 on SP 119659. 2, decline the offer to acquire lots 81 and 82 on SP 119659. 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to formally notify Queensland Rail Limited of Council's decision.
Seconder, Councillor O'Neill. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
Yes, to acknowledge that we looked at this offer from Queensland Rail. It doesn't fit in with Council's future plans, and we couldn't see a benefit of spending ratepayers' money to acquire the land as offered. So that's why we're declining the offer at this stage.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 9-0. LC4, Roma Salyards Multipurpose Facility. Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move the Council 1 receive the report by way of update to the investigations into the defects identified at the Roma Salyards Multipurpose Facility. 2, authorise Cause Chambers West Garth to continue to progress the matter in accordance with option 2, as outlined in this report. And 3, be presented with options to expedite the high priority rectification works identified by the expert assessments, including potential funding sources as part of the quarter 1 and 2 budget reviews.
Have a seconder. Councillor Brompton, would you like to speak, councillor?
No, thank you.
Anyone like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
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 9-0. Does anybody have it? Yes.
Madam Mayor, could I just make a comment before the meeting closes? On behalf of the local sport and recreation fraternity, I'd just like to thank the staff of CUC and the organisers who made themselves available for today's function or promotion at City's Oval. I think it's the best one I've seen in all the time I've been involved.
Yeah, thank you, councillor Flynn. Yes, it was amazing. So congratulations to all involved in that. On that note, I'll close the meeting at 2:06 and see you after you come back from Bali.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.